That summer, I turned 22. I was supposed to be working at my father's hardware store, saving up for something that resembled a future. But my father, Banks, didn't believe in college or dreams or much of anything that didn't revolve around his authority. To him, I was the disappointment, the one who couldn't measure up to my brother, Alan, the golden child who could do no wrong. I wasn't exactly living a life. I was surviving under their roof, playing the family punching bag. So when Banks announced a family road trip to Colorado for my uncle's wedding, I thought maybe it would be a chance to breathe. I couldn't have been more wrong. 3 days into the drive, the tension was thick enough to choke on. My father and Alan had spent the trip inventing new ways to make me the joke of the day. My mother, Irene, would occasionally murmur a week, "That's enough," but it never meant anything. She was a spectator, never a protector. That morning, we stopped at a rest area in the middle of nowhere. Colorado fields stretching forever, a bathroom building, a few vending machines, and mountains in the distance. I got out to use the restroom. My phone was charging in the car, and my wallet was in the glove box. 10 minutes, that's all I was gone. When I came back, our green Suburban was gone. At first, I thought it was a prank. They'd move the car, laugh when I panicked, and call me an idiot. I walked the lot twice. Nothing. My gut started to twist. I sat on the curb waiting. An hour passed. 2. A trucker asked if I was okay. I lied, said my girlfriend was in the bathroom. He nodded and left. When the 3rd hour hit, I realized they weren't coming back. I could almost hear their laughter in my head. Alan's smug voice, "Bet he's crying right now." My father's gruff tone, "He'll figure it out, if he's not as useless as he looks." My mother's silence. That silence hurt the most. Something in me hardened. I borrowed a stranger's phone, but not to call them. I called a shelter in Grand Junction. Then I asked the woman if she could drop me off in town. I told her my family had to leave unexpectedly, that someone would come for me later. She hesitated but agreed. That night, I slept in a shelter bed. No money, no ID, no family. Just a name and a stubborn will to survive. A volunteer named Dave let me use a computer. I looked up my uncle's wedding address. For a moment, I thought of going there, confronting them. Then I stopped. Why chase people who'd left me to rot? I decided to start over. 2 days later, I found work washing dishes at a diner called Sonny's. The owner, Geraldine, was a tattooed 60-something woman with purple streaks in her hair and a no-nonsense attitude. "You steal from me, you're dead," she said. "Start now." That was the first kindness anyone had offered me in years. I worked double shifts, slept at the shelter, used my first paycheck to buy a prepaid phone. 7 days after they left me, my phone rang. An unknown number. My mother's trembling voice spilled through the line. They'd been worried sick. My father's voice growled in the background, calling me dramatic. Alan laughed. "You wanted to see if I could make it on my own?" I said, my voice calm. "Watch me." I hung up, blocked them all, changed my number the next morning. A month later, I had a tiny studio apartment above a laundromat. It smelled like fabric softener and freedom. I was promoted to prep cook. Geraldine taught me how to chop onions without losing a finger. For the first time, someone saw value in me. Emails started coming from my mother. "We're sorry. Please come home." My father called it a childish stunt. Alan said, "It was just a joke." I never replied, because once you taste freedom, you stop craving the cage. It wasn't easy. Some nights I scrolled through social media, watching families smile together and wondering why mine had chosen cruelty. Holidays were brutal, but every morning I woke up in my own space. No shouting, no insults, just quiet progress. Years passed. I deleted that old email account, threw the SIM card in the trash, and let my old life die. Geraldine became my mentor. She even taught me to bake her apple pie, calling me a natural. It was the first genuine compliment I could remember. 5 years later, I saw Alan's face on the news. A DUI. Crashed his car into a pole. No one else hurt, just him. His mugshot looked nothing like the perfect son my parents worshipped. Karma, I realized, doesn't forget an address. Meanwhile, I built something real. Sonny's became my home. Geraldine promoted me to assistant manager. I enrolled in community college classes, business management, accounting, the kind of things my father once mocked as not real work. I was learning how to run something, not just survive in it. That's when I met Kendra. She was a med student who came to Sonny's twice a week, always ordering the same thing: Denver omelet, no tomatoes, extra coffee. For months, she didn't even look at me. Then one day she pointed at my name tag and said, "You spelled Salvador wrong." It wasn't, but I started wearing a different wrong name every time she came in. It became our thing. Our first date wasn't even planned. Her study group canceled, and I ended up taking their reservation. A year later, we were living together. Through fake social media accounts, I kept an eye on my family. My father's hardware store was failing. My mother filled her profile with nostalgic posts, pretending we were still a happy family. Alan was job hopping, posting rants about haters. None of it surprised me. When Geraldine opened a second Sonny's, she asked me to run it. I almost said no. People like me weren't meant to lead. My father had made sure I believed that. But Kendra said, "You'd be stupid not to." So I said yes. Sonny's East opened 6 months later. Smaller, scrappier, but mine. I worked myself to exhaustion, fought with Kendra about being gone too much. But the restaurant thrived. For the first time, people trusted me to build something. 4 years after being abandoned, I paid off part of Kendra's med school loans. She cried, real tears, messy and human. That night, I finally felt like I mattered. Then my grandmother passed away, the only one in my family who'd ever shown me kindness. I found out through Facebook. I thought about going home, but I didn't. Instead, I sent flowers. No return address, just my name. A week later, my mother posted about signs from heaven. Alan wrote about prodigal sons. My father stayed silent, but I knew he'd seen the card. Then a message came from an unknown profile. It was my Uncle Rick. "Your mom gave me your email. Your dad's been asking about you. Are you okay?" I blocked it immediately. That night, panic clawed at my chest. The fear of being found, of having everything I'd built ripped away. Kendra found me sitting on the bathroom floor, shaking. She didn't ask questions, just sat beside me until I could breathe again. Then she said softly, "They can't take anything from you that you don't give them." That was the moment I realized I was finally free. My family once left me to see if I could survive alone. What they didn't expect was that I'd thrive without them. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't payback, it's peace.